On today's show, the Phoenix Suns split over in China. Who is standing out for all the right reasons and who's standing out for all the wrong reasons? Also, let's do a little bit of a rookie check-in, if you will. Let's do it all in this edition of Locked On Phoenix Suns.
You are Locked On Suns, your daily Phoenix Suns podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up? Welcome back into Locked On Phoenix Suns. My name is Benjamin Garcia, host of the Ben Garcia Show, mornings on YouTube, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m., and as well as an Arizona Sports, but more specifically, a Phoenix Suns media member covering your team 365 days of the year, your Phoenix Suns team 365 days of the year. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful Sunday night, Monday morning, however you are listening, wherever you may be listening. Thank you so much for making Locked On Suns a part of your day. Don't forget that this show is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. So click that follow or subscribe button to do it. Thousands, dare I say millions, trillions, billions of Suns fans have already done. Become an everyday and get Locked On the Phoenix Suns right here each and every day. Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. Holy crap. Was that an early start time? Listen, I am so thankful that this is something that I get to do with you guys each and every day, 5 days a week, covering your Phoenix Suns. But I still have a day job. Like, I still do other things in this world. So it was a challenge getting up at 4:50 a.m. on Friday, and then today at 3:55 a.m. I might as well just have not slept all weekend. But it was worth it. It was so worth it. Because watching those two Phoenix Suns games have been a treat. Watching the Phoenix Suns through this far of the preseason has been a treat. The Phoenix Suns lost today, and they're going to lose games in the regular season. But it has been a treat. We have been starved for something in Phoenix over the last 3 seasons. And if we cursed on this show, I'd say give a bleep. But the Suns give a crap. They finally give a crap. And that's my initial reaction is they're not going to win a lot of games. They're not going to win 42 games and go 42-40. Like, I think that is a little extreme. But the Suns are building a foundation of what all good basketball teams are built on. And that's an identity, that's knowing who you are, that's coming out and winning ways that are tangible for you. And, let's talk about that first game really quickly. I was kind of disappointed in that second preseason game, the first one of this China split series with Brooklyn, because as I was watching this team, I was like, man, this is what I was kind of worried that they would be. And I guess I should say I was disappointed. I was just not surprised, if that makes sense. Like, I wasn't disappointed, but I also wasn't surprised. The Phoenix Suns started off this game on Friday against the Brooklyn Nets, kind of behind the 8 ball. The Nets shot 60% in the first half of games. And I tweeted out, games that the opposing team is going to shoot 60% from the field, the Suns have no chance to win those games. I think my exact wording was next to 0. Because the Suns, as mentioned before numerous times on this show, are going to have issues scoring the basketball. Consistently, I guess I should say. Imagine on nights where Devin Booker has his patented 4 for 15 night, like all great superstars and star players do. Steph Curry doesn't shoot 50% from 3, shoots 38, 40%. He misses a lot. He also makes a lot. You're going to have those nights. And when Devin Booker isn't playing well, this team is going to have a hard time really getting points. Just going to have a really tough time. And in this game, Devin Booker was 4 for 9. I don't think he had his first field goal, his first actual field goal until the second half. And that was like a little running, jumping, mid-range jumper. And it didn't matter. And I thought to myself, and then I tweeted this out after the Suns beat the Nets. And again, I don't care that they won this game. It's about winning the minutes that matter. When you're going up against the Nets players, what does it look like? And the Suns, it felt like, went into the locker room, and they're going to do this a lot this year. They were down in the Nets at the half. The Nets shot 60% from the field. It's very easy for a team like the Suns to throw their hands up and just say, well, I mean, they're shooting 60%. Like, if 10 times they shoot the ball, they make it 6 times. Like, that is otherworldly efficiency. Sometimes you just throw your hands up and you're like, okay, we'll get them on Sunday. It feels like the Suns went into the locker room on Friday night, I guess in China, Friday morning in Phoenix, they kind of just looked at each other and said, okay, shots aren't falling. We got to go back to what we are. And that is what is going to happen for the Phoenix Suns all regular season long. I've been telling you this for a couple of months now. There's also a couple of things I've been telling you that we'll get into in the second part of this show. But one of the things that I kind of told you about is the Suns are going to play teams, and I mentioned this on the NBA Squad Show preview of the Western Conference edition that'll come out later this week, was the Suns aren't going to necessarily be a great team, but they're going to be a team that when Oklahoma City comes in on a Tuesday night in December, they're going to think they've got that game wrapped up by 20 points, and they still might beat the Suns. But they're going to beat the Suns 100-96 and leave that game saying, golly, this was supposed to be an easy game. That team's freaking tough. Next time we play them, we're actually going to have to try a ton. And we don't want to do that. We're trying to rest our guys for the playoffs. Like, this should be a game that Case and Wallace played 35 minutes, not Shai Gilgeous-Alexander playing 38. And the Suns went to the locker room on this Friday game and kind of said, hey, you know that thing we didn't have last year that we have this year? An identity. Remember, talent isn't an identity. An actual tangible asset that you can go back to consistently over and over and over again. You got to tell the opposing team, stop this. The Suns have an identity on the defensive side of the ball that is going to be very difficult for opposing teams to, especially teams without stars and superstars. It's going to be hard for teams to score on the Suns team. Here's another, tidbit from the NBA Squad Show, Western Conference Preview Edition. Apparently I got clipped, and on the Locked On NBA game nights, which you guys should go check out on Locked On NBA, someone took my soundbite of me saying, I think this team could be a top 10 defensive team in the NBA. And I kind of squirmed like this when I was saying it because I believed it, but I knew I was going to get ridiculed for it. And there was a couple of people in the Locked On NBA group chat. They were all making fun of me. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a fanboy, all that stuff, right? It's all in good fun. And it wasn't until we did that squad show again yesterday, which will air sometime this week, that I believe it was Matt Moore of Locked On Nuggets said, after Ben said that, it got me thinking, maybe this team can be a play-in team. Maybe they can be a really good defensive team. And Friday was a perfect example of that. 60% at the half. 60%. And it wasn't the Suns' third and fourth stringers coming into this game and, rallying the troops. Both teams played with their starters to start the second half. Suns were down 59-71. Listen to some of these Brooklyn Nets plays. Michael Porter Jr. misses 13-foot 2-point shot. Oso Igbodaro, defensive rebound. Dylan Brooks makes driving layup, getting out in transition. Dylan Brooks blocks Nolan, whatever his last name is, 3-point driving layup. Grayson Allen, defensive rebound. Oso Igbodaro, 2-point dunk. Getting out in transition after blocking players and scoring. That is a 5-second difference between blocking someone and dunking it. Nolan again throws the ball out of bounds. Shooting. Suns get the ball. Devin Booker gets to the line. 2 free throws. And now we're at 65-71. Nick Claxton makes his first free throw. Misses the second one. Ryan Dunn gets the rebound. Misses. The Brooklyn Nets, they lose the ball again. Devin Booker steals. They go down the court right away and score. The Nets scored 1 point in the first. Let's see where it's at. I should have had this. The Nets scored 1 point in the first 5 minutes of the second half. That is the Suns going back to their identity and saying, listen, we understand you have more offensive firepower. But if our shots aren't falling, we as a team can buckle down defensively and make everything very difficult on you, force turnovers, get out in transition, and get back in these games. The Suns are not going to be the team this year that is going to get back in games by shooting themselves back into it. They're going to be getting back in games by making other opposing teams shoot themselves out of it. And I thought that was very impressive. In a league where identity matters so much, the Suns are down to the Brooklyn Nets double digits, shooting 60% in the first half, and the Suns go back into their identity in defense, force the Brooklyn Nets to score only 1 point in the first 5 minutes of the second half, and immediately the Suns are up 74-72. That's how they're going to get back into games. The Suns have showed over this preseason what their identity is. We know offensively, they're not going to have the best team shooting the ball lights out 50% from the field. They're going to hope, cross their fingers, that Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks hits their three-point jumpers. Devin Booker is playing well from the mid-range. But if all things go awry, they can play defense, they can get out in transition, and that's how they get themselves back in these games. At one point, the Suns were being out-rebounded 21-11. In a game where the Suns are being out-rebounded 21-11 and the opposing team is shooting 60% from the field, the Suns should lose every single one of those games. But because they have an identity on the defensive side of the ball that is going to be physical, push teams around, they're going to win a lot more games than they're going to win games this year that they otherwise would have lost last year. And that's the difference between this year and last year's team. All right, who's standing out for the right reasons? Who's standing out for the wrong reasons? There's a couple of them I've been pretty right on. So we'll talk about that next. First, today's show is brought to you by our friends over at Peloton. Let me go ahead and just get their, little doohickey right there down the lower third. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with a brand new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus powered by Peloton IQ. It's their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move. Whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructors, this is training reimagined. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with tools that help you plan, stay motivated, and reach peak performance. Listen, just the other day, I like weightlifting. I will never stop weightlifting. I enjoy working out. I enjoy playing basketball. But sometimes my workouts get a little repetitive. And the other day, I was squatting, I hurt my knee, and now I haven't, done legs in 2 weeks because it probably would have been better off for me not squatting anymore and acting like I'm still playing football and basketball like the high school days. And, maybe do something that's a little bit easier on the joints. Peloton would have been great for me. And not only that, I just got to flick it on, potentially even you do one of their programs that they have. I don't even need to think about what I need to do in my workout. Sometimes it's often like, am I going to lift? Am I going to do free weights? Am I going to do, more cardio? Get on the Peloton. They've got a bunch of workouts on there that'll help me and make me a better, get me in better shape. And so let yourself run, lift, fit, and flex and push forward. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. So I want to take a second now that we're 3 games into the preseason to talk about some of the players that are standing out for all the right reasons. Some of the players are standing, out for all the wrong reasons. So number one, just right off the bat, I really like what I've seen from Grayson Allen over these past couple of games. I'm not going to sit here and toot the Grayson Allen horde a ton. I think what he has done is shown that he can continuously be a serviceable player off this team. And since Jalen Green is definitely going to start, and he should to start the season, I just like what I've seen from Grayson Allen. And this team is going to continuously need 3-point shooting and someone off the bench that can complement whoever is on the floor with them at the same time. Jalen Green and or Devin Booker. So that's the first one that I just want to throw out there really quickly and soften the blow for this next one. I continuously don't see it with Nigel Hayes-Davis. I don't see it. I know some people have been gassing this guy up. He went over, overseas and he was really good. I think he was the MVP and where he played. And he had this patented 3-point jumper. And I liked having him on the team. Like, this isn't a anti-Nigel Hayes. I'm not even going to say Nigel Hayes-Davis anymore because it just says Nigel Hayes here. But this isn't an anti-Nigel Hayes like rant, or if you will. I think Nigel Hayes fits the identity of this team kind of similarly to Jordan Goodwin, who we'll get to in just a second. Like, he's a big player, defensively going to fit the mold of this team, 6'8", 240, big wingspan. He's going to be able to spot, start, and fill in at times. But if everyone is healthy, I don't see where Nigel Hayes-Davis is going to play on this team. I just don't see it. He is redundant to what they already have, which is a good thing. Having more wings is a good thing. But that's only a good thing when dudes get injured. I feel better about Rasheer Fleming than I do about Nigel Hayes-Davis this far into the preseason. Yes, Rasheer Fleming today, on Sunday wasn't great. He was 0 for 1, only shot one shot, and only played 10 minutes in this game. But the defensive prowess for Rasheer Fleming, I think, is already better than Nigel Hayes. And I know both guys can shoot the three ball effectively. Rasheer Fleming's actually done it better than Nigel Hayes has done since the preseason has started. And so I'm going to give the tie to the younger player. So I don't want Nigel Hayes playing over Rasheer Fleming. I just don't want that. If Rasheer Fleming shows up, he doesn't fit the prowess of this Suns team right away, or he shows real rookie signs of slow, developmental stages that are maybe worse than we thought, then sure, I'll rethink this accordingly. But I'm just not there right now with Nigel Hayes-Davis. And we'll get further into Rasheer Fleming in just a second with Kamal Maluach and Jordan Goodwin. But I just don't see it with Nigel Hayes. I'd rather play Royce O'Neal, who also hasn't looked amazing this preseason. I'd rather play Dylan Brooks and Ryan Dunn. It's not a, poop on Nigel Hayes thing. It's kind of hard to go overseas, become this really great player, and then have that translate immediately to the NBA. Like, the talent discrepancy from where he played to the NBA is just a massive leap. And so I know he's got a chip on his shoulder. I know he plays tough. I know he's someone that uses everything as motivation. But at the end of the day, you can't substitute talent. And I'm not sure if he's talented enough offensively to stick with this team and give me a reason to play over the other rookies like Rasheer Fleming, who I'll dive deeper into in just a second. As well as, I've been wrong on this. The best center that has played this preseason, it's pretty unequivocally Nick Richards. I still wonder why Oso Igbodaro is starting over him. I get that maybe the idea is, and I'm doing this on the fly as I'm thinking about it, maybe Ighodaro just fits better with what the Phoenix Suns want to do right now with this lineup. He's a superb passer, and so finding guys like Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks, or even Devin Booker in the two-man game maybe fits a little bit better than what Nick Richards would be doing. Nick Richards is not someone who is a prolific scorer or passer, but he has been a heads-up, almost veteran-type presence for this team. All the things that I wonder about Oso Igbodaro, I have been infatuated with Nick Richards. He has been someone who has been Johnny on the spot, grabbing multiple different rebounds. He had 3 offensive rebounds in this game, 5 rebounds total. Oso Igbodaro also had 5 rebounds in this game, but he also played 20 minutes compared to Nick Richards' 16 minutes. So more efficient from the floor. And also just heads up, heady plays. Someone missed it. He's grabbing it below the rim, putting it back in. Those are cheap buckets at the rim that the Phoenix Suns are going to need. But still in the same breath, I wonder if Nick Richards just suits better as a backup center than maybe Oso Igbodaro. Nick Richards might just fit the mold better of someone who can come off the bench and kind of play a little bit more freer basketball. One of the things that I was concerned about with Nick Richards that I said to Suns fans when they draft or when they traded for him was, I like Nick Richards. I understand it, but I'm not going to act like he's going to come here and revolutionize the Suns center position. He is the backup center on a horrible Charlotte's team. So has he ever had to play winning basketball? I don't know. But it feels like he's been in the gym this summer, revolutionizing his game a little bit. And I think it is undoubtedly, unequivocally true. He has been the best, undoubtedly, the best center on this team. And that leads me to some of my thoughts on Oso Igbodaro, Kamal Malawatch, and Jordan Goodwin that we need to get into, and we're going to do so next. Today's show is brought to you by my friends over at FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and you'll get $300 in bonus bets if your bets wins. That's right. Pick a bet, put $5 down, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel. I love using FanDuel. It is so much fun to be able to test my sports knowledge accordingly. I think the Arizona Cardinals there are like a, plus 8.5. And for me, I look at that line and I say, plus 7.5, plus 8.5. If I'm a team like the Arizona Cardinals who is in a must-win game, this is a throw everything in the kitchen sink at them game. So why would I pick the Arizona Cardinals not to cover 8.5? I think the Colts are probably still going to win. And if you want to feel better about your bet, maybe just put $5 down the money line. When the Colts win, you get with your $5 bet, you'll win $300 in bonus bets. But you want to go a little bit, get a little frisky, maybe take the Cardinals to plus 8.5. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app to get started today. Also, today's show brought to you by the lovely folks over at Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your phone or on your laptop. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you're put off organizing your finances, Monarch is here for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. We're moving right now. Money's a little bit tighter because our payment's going to go up a little bit. Now we're going to get a lot more space going from a 500 square foot apartment to a 2,000 square foot house. A little bit of a difference, but it's going to cost a little bit more. We are going through our finances currently. We found out we're paying for things that what are we doing? We had a Discovery Plus account. I've never used Discovery Plus. I've got 2 Spotify accounts. Never used 2 Spotify accounts. I feel like a dummy. Had I used Monarch Money, those things would not have been an issue. I could have canceled those things a long time ago and saved myself and my wife a whole heck of a lot of financial heartache. So don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com. In your browser, half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com. Use code LOCKEDONNBA. So let's talk about Oso Igbodaro really briefly. I think this is interesting with Oso Igbodaro because at times he looks lost. Legitimately, this is just my observations. Watch the game with your eyes. Don't listen to what anyone else says. Your eyes oftentimes won't lie to you. And early in both of these games, I thought Oso Igbodaro looked a little lost. And I will continue to say it till I'm blue in the face. Oso Igbodaro could be a very good player in this league. I wonder if he's more of a 4 than a 5. I probably lean more of a 4, but he kind of has the skill set of a 5. If Oso never develops any sort of offensive prowess that isn't, some sort of jumper or 3-point shot, which I don't think is ever going to happen with Oso. I wonder with Oso Igbodaro what his role looks like on this team. He's a prolific passer, and I want him out in the court. But he's not a true 5, and as he gets matched up with other 5s, he kind of gets bullied on the court. So that brings me back to my last point with Nick Richards. Like, I think Oso still starts because maybe Nick is just more suited to be a backup 5 than a starting 5. Oso looked lost in multiple points, and not just this game, but the game on Friday as well. I thought even more so on Friday. He looked pretty good today. 5 for 7, 2 for 3 from free throw. One of the things with Oso Igbodaro is it feels like he's so timid to try to score around the rim because he can't make a free throw to save his life. That's a part of having a bit of a jumper. And one of the things with Oso Igbodaro is teams are going to go into just hacking Oso whenever he goes up around the rim because they don't feel confident that he can hit a free throw jumper at all. And so that brings me to my other point with Kamal Malawatch. I thought Kamal Malawatch started to take right strides into this game. But like at this point, he does, like, he was 4 for 6 from free throw. Kamal Malawatch on Friday. Kamal Malawatch in this game was 3 for 6 from the field, 1 for 2 from free throws. Kamal Malawatch is already showing signs of progression. I was a little concerned about Khaman Maluach after the preseason game against the Lakers, but I let it go because first, actual NBA action where you're playing against real NBA players, not, future plumbers and State Farm salesmen over during the summer league. But I thought Khaman Maluach started to look the part. And again, that leads me to believe who's going to play. I understand Kamal Malawatch is a rookie. He was also the 10th overall pick. You maneuvered around to get Kamal Malawatch. I just wonder if there's a chance he could supplant Oso Igbodaro at some point this year. He's a much better suited at the 5 than Oso is. He's not as good of a passer as Oso is. He's not good as a ball handler as Oso is. But he's younger, better defensively, and I think is more athletic to where if you throw the ball around the rim to Kamal Malawatch, he's going to have a better chance of putting it down. And if he gets fouled, you feel better about him making free throws, not Oso Igbodaro. So that's my quick recap on the Oso Kamal Malawatch dynamic there. I wonder if the Suns in February, if they want to make a deal, swing a deal, I don't know what that looks like. If Oso, if Nick Richards, could be one of the guys gone. Like, that's a kind of a hard thing to hear because we like Oso. I'm curious about his fit with this team. And what I saw from Kamal Malawatch is kind of coming into his own a little bit faster than I thought he would. And I just trust him to put the ball down around the rim. And if he gets fouled, go to the free throw line and actually hit that and hit those and make opposing teams pay. Here's my last thoughts. Jared Butler was good down the stretch. He had that, game-tying bucket against the Nets on Friday, but it is not close. And I said this when Jordan Goodwin became available to the Phoenix Suns, like in June when he got let go by the Lakers. I was like, Jordan Goodwin fits perfectly with the Suns team. I tweeted that out there. I put it out there, and it was absolutely true. He is not going to play very often. But when the Suns play a random Tuesday night in November against the Charlotte Hornets and Booker sits out because, I don't know, hamstring's a little tight, feel like the Suns feel good about this game even without him, you throw someone out there like Jordan Goodwin to help fit the mold of this Suns team, and that is scrappy. And I actually thought Jordan Goodwin from the field looked like pleasantly surprising from 3 for 6 from 3 in the first game. In the second game, Jordan Goodwin only hit 1 3-point jumper, but was 1 for 3 from those. So still shooting a fine percentage for someone that's going to come off the bench and not play a ton. But everyone told me, not everyone, I hate using absolutes. That's not fair. A lot of people said, though, oh, Jared Butler, like that's a nice little third string guard for the Suns. And I was like, nah, Jordan Goodwin fits the bill better than Jared Butler does. He's a more defensive prowess bulldog. He is someone that's going to be able on a night in, night out basis to cover the teams. Backup point guard like a TJ McConnell type and just be annoying. The Jose Alvarado type of point guard that comes off the bench and gives you really good energy minutes. And I think that case is all but solidified. Jared Butler's not making this team. Jordan Goodwin will be the third string point guard for this team because he fits the mold of what the Suns are doing. And I also just kind of like Jordan Goodwin. Plays hard, young player, still scrappy. I think is a pretty actually good defensive player when he's in the right system, like the Suns a couple years ago when he was coming off the bench as their second string point guard. Kind of got exposed a little bit. But on this team where they've got some depth, he kind of fits better than I think Jared Butler will do. So with that being said, guys, I I will be at the preseason game on Tuesday. Suns got a game at Tuesday at home against Los Angeles Lakers. That's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Hey, if you see me, stop me. Say what's up. Let's talk. Let's chat. Let's be friends. But until then, I guess we got another. Obviously, we got another show tomorrow. But we also got a game on Tuesday. Hopefully, we can do that show from the whatever these. It's not PHX Arena anymore. I already forgot what it's called, but. Hopefully, we can do the show from there. But with that being said, guys, follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Hit me up, message me, at me. Let's talk, let's chat. Hit the like, share, subscribe button for everyone tuning in. My name is Benjamin Garcia, and it has been Locked on Phoenix Suns.